Hello, this is Kakaishi, and I'm going to talk about my research paper for 699. So my research is to build a machine learning model to predict the stock price, especially for tech company stock prices. So stock market has always been a very interesting topic in our daily life. As well myself, we also buy a lot of stocks from different tech companies. Due to the COVID impact starting from 2020, we can see like the stock price can be like even more hard to predict. So my project is to using the long short-term memory model, which is called LSTM model, to predict the future stock prices, and also build a UI for user to select different companies, and they can see the price of that companies as well as my predicted price. For the data I'm gonna use is from two data sources. First, for the stock data, I got it from the Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal has like most of data for all the tech companies, and you can simply select time range. For instance, if you select January 1st, 2022, November 1st, 2022, it will generate a CSV file and of the stock prices, and the stock data including the open price, close price, highest and lowest prices, as well as volume on that particular date. And I'm gonna be using all of this as the features for building the machine learning model. And the second part data is COVID data. So for the COVID data, I simply get the data from CDC, and it's mostly reliable and has the most up-to-date data. So the data including the new cases, accumulated cases, new deaths, vaccination, and so on. So I'm going to use all of these as the features to build the model. And as for the methods, method I'm using, I use long short-term memory model as a machine learning model to build it, because it is the most popular model to predict the stock price, and it is an improved version of RNN, and it can, unlike traditional feed-forward neural networks, LSTM have feedback connections, so it can handle a single data point as well as completed data sequences. So because like the stock data is always very complicated data sequences, so LSTM model is the best model, most reliable model to use. So as for the implementation, I use the Jupyter Notebook to implement the machine learning model, because the Jupyter Notebook can provide like very straightforward. It's very easy to use, very easy to install, and it can provide the import like most data libraries, and can help to illustrate the analysis process step by step by arranging the contents like code, images, text, output, and so on. So for instance, like this is how we import the different libraries, and then we can go like step by step. We need to import the data, we need to check the non-values of the data, and we also need to do some data scaling to make sure the data is from 0 to 1, and also merge the COVID data and the stock data together. And then for training and test data set, I chosen like 9 to 9 to 1. So like 90% of data are training data, the rest are the test data, so that we can have enough data for training and can get the most accurate volume, predict volume. As for building the actual LSTM model, so like the LSTM model has like different types of optimizer. So for instance, I try to use different optimizer as well as like different layer of densities in order to get the most optimized model. So after experience, Atom optimizer can give us the best results. So that's why I choose the Atom as the optimizer. So finally, we can use the model we created to do the prediction, and then we compare the predicted and the true close value. In order to measure how close our data is, I calculate this RMSE, which is root mean square error. It is measurement to measure like how close the predicted price versus the actual price. So those are some results I got, and also we have the training score. So the smaller the data the training score is, which means like the smaller error it has, which means the model is mostly accurate. So overall, our model did a very good job, and the UI page, you can also see the similar trend of the stock price, and the user can also select like different date to get a different stock prices. And finally, as for the conclusion here, the graph shows like the basic single basket model has detected most like some patterns, although it's not perfect, but it's overall it did a very good job on prediction. And the COVID-19 has some positive influence on technical companies, especially 2020 and 2022. This is some conclusion for the machine learning model. As for the UI page, I use the Django framework to develop the UI, and it has like two pages. One is homepage, the other is individual stock pages. So the homepage has a list of stock prices, while the individual stock page has like different stock stock for like different data for different companies, and the user, as I mentioned, the user can select the date, and they will be able to see the stock price versus the predict price. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the overview of my project. Thank you for listening.